Good evening and salutations, my B&B fans. So, I started with Katie and Brooke, and I was about to call her Kate for a hot minute. See, this is what happens when you watch all four. You have a Kate from Days, you have a Katie from B&B. Anyway, after you talk about Brooke and her feelings, before Brooke walked in, Katie was still looking at the picture, right? And she shows Brooke the Photoshop AI generated Nana pictures, we'll call them, of Electra. And right off the bat, they're like, listen, we can't afford to have a scandal. We're gonna have to sit there and fire her. And I'm like, wait, what? And she's all like, oh well, I'm worried about Will. What do you mean? And one of the things she said was, oh, she looked like she was such a sweet girl. So right off the bat, they're just assuming. They're just assuming that she's the type of girl that will sit there and take like fake news and stuff like that and scandalous pictures. And my whole thing is like, Katie, you got this from a random email that you don't know of of a, of random pictures of her, and the first thing you sit there and think is, oh, she's definitely a wild child. Really? And at some point, when Electra comes upstairs, well, even before Electra comes in, Ivory comes in, and Ivory says, and Katie sits there and says, "Oh, we're gonna have to sit down and let go Electra." And Ivory's like, "Why? What's going on? Is her work the problem or something like that?" And she's like, "No, she just doesn't feel like she's a good fit for us." I'm sorry, what? Did you just sit there and lie to her? You're not even gonna sit there and tell her why you're firing her. This whole thing is just completely and utter BS at this point. Um, I get where they're coming from as far as a scandal. And again, if we're gonna be honest, even if Remy didn't do what he did, those original photos are out there. So anybody at any point in time, if they sat there and they typed, they could have found those, right? Because the internet is forever. Let's just be real. The internet's forever. As long as there's always that one person that's going to take that picture and repost it somewhere else, it's going to be what it's going to be. So granted, if Electra and Ivory just came clean about it, maybe they wouldn't have been high, maybe they would have been, but at least it would have been, they would have known. So in case something like that happened, she was like, okay, yeah, I can see this stuff being more out there and whatever. Instead of them just assuming the worst of her, and again from a random email, like what? Now while Eric and Steffi and Ridge are talking, and one of the things Eric Smith is saying is, "Oh, do you think that Brooke can sit there and talk some reasoning into Hope?" He says this to Ridge, and I'm like, after what Ridge said, hell to no. Now Ridge is all like, "Oh well, I can't leave, like I can't stay there," and Erica's like, "Oh well, she can't be Smith there supporting this, right?" Okay, we've been talking about this for a hot minute. They're all in solidarity of not going in. They're just like, nope, F, we're not doing that. And Zendy comes in. And Zendy's like, yeah, I'm gonna stay with the family. I'm not coming in and work. I'm not rocking with them. And Ridge and Steffi are like, or Ridge and Eric is like, no, you need to go to work. You need to do this. You need to sit there and have our interests. We can't let the company fall apart before we get it back. So you got to be there. You got to be designing. So they told him to stay. Be our inside guy. Um, Meanwhile, Carson, they're talking about this luxury brand. He wants to do that, and so that's going for it. He wants to sit there and get a new team. And I think on some level, I think he probably knew that most likely that Reg and Steffi and Eric, Reg and Steffi specifically was not going to rock, was not going to go along with this plan, was not going to continue to work and stuff like that. And so he's gonna make Brooke the CEO. And of course, Hope is happy because you're taking care of me, take care of Mom Dukes. All right, love you now. You can sit there and say at the time and stuff, but whatever. Um, Thomas couldn't give her what apparently Carter's giving her. Now this turned from an infatuation to, oh, I love you now. Now she's ready. Maybe, who knows? Um, Meanwhile, you got Electra and Will. They're talking about Remy, and she's feeling really bad and stuff. And at some point, again, Will makes this comment like, "Are you sure y'all two weren't dating and stuff like that?" Meanwhile, Remy, who is, let me tell you something about Remy and Electra. Well, this is a soap opera and everything is, soap operas tend to be very, I don't want to say hyperbolic, but they tend to expand upon something that's normally not that big. And it's drama, it's for dramatic. So there's always that element. But as somebody who has been on the internet and seen stories and heard these horror stories from some of these, we'll sit there and say streamers that have to deal with people like Remy. Because that's the thing, people like Remy exist. Okay? People like Remy exist. They exist as far as being in the friend zone. They exist as far as they exist, right? And this is the type of person that can easily snap. And he already has. He already ruined her life once, which is why she moved to LA. And now he's doing it again simply because he felt that he got rejected. So now he's like, oh, well, he wants to make sure that she gets fired, that she doesn't have a relationship with Will, because Will's probably going to sit there and blow up on her and be all whatever. Um, and I don't think that he's even going to bother to sit there and listen and hear her out, right? Because she's going to sit there and say, well, the thing is, I left where I was because of this stuff, and Will's going to be like, you should have told me, right? Because she does sit there and say, I left. I left where I was. I had to get away. And he's like, it's like a theme that you keep Smith there saying. He hasn't pushed or anything like that because he just, hey, eventually you'll tell me. I have to sit there and believe that you're going to tell me. That didn't happen. So now when it does come out, and he didn't find out from her. He found out through Mom Dukes and everything else. Like it's going to be one of those things where he's going to sit there and be like, you should have trusted me. Now I don't know what to believe. Right? Now I don't know what to believe. Maybe you hid that from me because if I knew, then I was going to rock with you. So you lied to me. I'm just imagining what the possibilities that could sit there and come from him. Um, Sheila was there. Sheila Carter, right? Chick from the 70s that was just badass, femme fatale, whatever, is reduced to a couple of lines of, oh, don't let Deacon sit there and see us slacking off. Listen, I'm not knocking Kimberly Brown. I'm happy that she's working. Right? It's hard out there in these streets, these actor streets, industries, and everything like that. But god damn, really? This is what you reduced the famous Sheila Carter? I'm pretty sure my dad might even remember who Sheila Carter is. I mean, hell, he knows who Erica. Well, to be fair, everybody knows who Erica Kane is. If I sit there and say Erica Kane, y'all don't even have to Google that. Y'all know who that is. Anyway, yep, I feel like that's about it. Now, I'm not doing a live stream tonight, but I'll be back tomorrow. I think, like I said, I think if they play this right with this cautionary tale, it could be good. See, the thing is about this soap opera, right? My generation, I can see this plays out every day. This type of being in the friend zone and ruining. Um, I mean, I guess. Well, to be fair, well, it plays out a little more differently now because I mean, not the whatever, but like It's like now guys, with the technology that goes on, now some guys can literally sit there and ruin a woman's life by the touch of a computer. Just what he did right there, he said it's this whole thing as far as isolating her and making her feel like the only person that she could sit there and trust is him. Now, granted, back in the day when you had crazy dudes that would do stuff like that, they had to do a lot more work. They actually had to sit there and literally do work. They had to talk to people and plant stuff, and maybe I don't know, a scandalous photo or whatever, just rumors. Now, do, 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 you know. So I feel like, and not to sit there and dismiss, previous generation or previous generation before me, the just how impactful this is, you know. But you put stuff like that online, she saw it, fired her immediately, which again is just insane because it's like I get that they don't want another scandal after the last one, but like you're not even sitting there trying to give this woman a chance to explain what happened. She walks in, you're fired. Excuse me? I mean, I'm fired. Like, what? Usually you sit there and lead up to that, not just so. I don't know how the laws work in California, LA, or anything like that. I know in New York, they can sit there and fire you if you breathe too hard. Okay, this it is just literally a policy you call. And correct me if I'm wrong. At will, they can fire you at will. So I don't know. Anyway, like I said, I'm not doing a stream tonight, but I will be back tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. I want to try to do all 4 of the subs, but by the time I get out, this is not going to happen, unfortunately. But I do like doing all 4. Um, Mine is always really interesting to do because, you know, one of the things I love about, well, there's a lot of things I love about doing YouTube and doing this. One of the things I love about watching all 4 and talking about all 4 is that there's a different energy, right? If you watch all 4 of the soaps and you watch all 4 of my reviews, I don't have the same energy in a sense that I'm talking about Young and Restless that I would about General Hospital. You know, Bold and Beautiful or Days of Our Lives. So I generally love doing all 4 of them. It was not going to happen today. Anyway, that's pretty much all I got. But I will be back tomorrow. Any questions, anything I missed, write in the comment section below. And I want to sit there and start asking these random questions. So I'm going to ask the ladies. Have you ever had to deal with a remedy, right? Where you didn't know that this guy liked you in more than just a friend way? And how did you wind up dealing with it? If it's too personal, I understand, but I'm very curious about people's um, experiences and things of that nature. Or if you know someone, you don't have to sit there and say any names, but I'm just very curious about, that. Um, anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna go. I'll see you in the next video, and hopefully live stream tomorrow.